Have you ever noticed your anxiety feels worse when you're alone or isolated for too long? Like there's nothing actually stopping your thoughts from turning against you? They start to feel louder, heavier, and more believable than they've ever been. That's because when there's no external input, you stay caught up in your thoughts, habits, emotions, and behaviors. In today's video, I am sharing with you 4 reasons you need support while healing your anxiety. So stick with me. What's up there? My name is Ashley. I'm a mental health expert and I help Christians heal their anxiety using Christ centered neuroscience without the typical just pray more advice. Now, I have to be honest, my ego and pride interfered with me healing my anxiety for many years. I was encouraging other people to get help and professionally helping people through their most difficult mental health challenges. However, I wasn't humble enough to admit that I needed help and support getting out of these anxiety cycles and patterns that I had operated in for most of my life. And so I went through the motions. I would tell people that I was working on myself. I would convince myself it was getting better. I would tell myself I was doing the work. But the truth is, I was anxious all the time. My avoidance was greater than ever, and I wasn't fully wholeheartedly working on my anxiety. I was passive, I was sabotaging, and I was controlling and curating my environment and calling it progress. I wasn't facing my fears. I wasn't seeing progression or getting results. And I kept reverting back to the same old patterns that I was so used to existing in for so long. So, no, my anxiety wasn't getting any better. And yet, I was still trying to do the same old formula, healing my anxiety by myself in isolation, in my own head, with no external input to challenge me. A lot of people do this. Most of us assume isolation is calming because it removes pressure, noise, and social demands. But isolation can also remove something very important: well roundedness. So, here are the reasons you need support and why I needed support while healing our anxiety. Number one, thoughts that would normally be dismissed in conversations with others can easily escalate when you're alone because they will remain unchecked and unchallenged. You see, in social interactions, people naturally interrupt distorted thinking without even trying or knowing. We default to it, and people tend to think more clearly about other people's circumstances than their own. Anxiety grows when there's no reality feedback loop from other people to ground your perspective. Reality feedback loops look like someone reassuring you, changing the subject, offering alternatives to your assumptions, saying something to make you laugh or change the mood, and giving context your brain might be missing. When you're isolated, those loops disappear. Without interruption, the brain has full range and freedom to respond to every imagined or real threat, every worst case scenario, every uncertainty, and every unresolved fear without resistance or challenge. Plus, your habits and patterns in response to these feed your anxiety and make it worse. Number two, anxiety loves repetition. The more attention a thought receives, the more justified it becomes. Your anxiety likes to be right, not proven wrong. When you're alone, there's no external input competing with or pushing back on your internal dialogue. And you will also naturally seek out anything that confirms your thoughts. This is called confirmation bias. So, as your brain starts recycling the same information, you start to treat your thoughts as facts instead of possibilities. A thought changes from something could go wrong to something will go wrong. The longer you stay in your head without outside grounding, the more convincing these thoughts become. And over time, your internal dialogue will become increasingly negative. Not because you're weak minded, but because the brain indulges in what it repeatedly is exposed to. Number three, isolation increases self focus. When there's nothing happening externally, attention turns inward. You become aware of every thought, every emotion, every physical sensation, every shift in mood, every uncomfortable feeling in your body. You will become hyper aware of all of those things. Normally, social interaction and activity is going to pull your attention outward to other people. But in isolation, your internal experiences is the only thing that you have to pay attention to. That's why anxious people often become intensely focused on the physical sensations happening within them, like their heart rate, their breathing, physical tension, their fatigue, their dizziness, their mental fog, their emotional discomfort, their physical discomfort. And once attention locks onto those sensations, anxiety magnifies them. And so now you are anxious about the signs of anxiety. It creates a loop where awareness increases anxiety, anxiety increases awareness, and the cycle keeps feeding itself back and forth like that. Number 4, our nervous systems are deeply influenced by connection. That doesn't mean that you need to be surrounded by people constantly, but consistent human connection often acts like a stabilizing force for the mind. Social interaction naturally regulates your nervous system, and without it, anxiety has more space to build. Simple aspects of healthy connection like eye contact, shared attention, humor, physical presence, conversation, feeling understood, feeling emotionally safe can calm the nervous system more than we realize. Notice I said healthy connection because there has to be a signal of safety or else it will just reactivate the anxiety cycle. So you don't just need any type of connection, you need safe connections. Healing anxiety was never meant to happen in isolation, and we know that it's not healthy for us. Ecclesiastes chapter 4 verse 9 through 10 says, "Two are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up." In other words, the Bible is backing up that we need connection with God and we need connection with others. It's very important to have support, guidance, and people who actually understand what you're walking through. So if something in this video felt like this is me, I don't want you to just click off and go back to doing this alone. I'd love to connect with you. I'm working closely with a small group of people right now who are ready to approach their anxiety differently with both faith and real understanding of how their brain works using Christ-centered neuroscience. If you feel that pull from this video, go ahead and schedule a free call with me below. The link is in the description. No pressure at all. This is just a real conversation where I can hear your story, understand what you've been navigating, and see what could actually help you move forward this very year without any more delay. Find a day and time that works for you, and let's heal. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I appreciate you all. The best way that we can extend this outreach is for you to like this video and share this with someone. Encourage them today because you never know who could need it. Continue to take good care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next video.